Happy Friday, guys. It's your boy Stas here. Of course, got the double espresso on deck. How could I not on this beautiful Friday? Actually, it's not too beautiful considering it is storming here in New Jersey. We're getting a lot of rain. I guess it's flushing out the snow we got a couple days ago, so I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, either way, man, we got to break down some stocks, go over what is going on in this market as every index is green, and we're going to go over SoFi, break down what's going on the charts as SoFi's up 3% today. So guys, cheers, take a sip of your coffee, hit the like button, feel free to subscribe, join my Patreon for my portfolio updates. We post those week in, week out. I'm actually going to post an end of the week update later today, and we're investing $1,000 a week in that portfolio, and there's also a private Discord. If you're interested, check it out, link down below, also pinned in the comments, or go to stassurfs.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers again for the third time, guys, and let's get into it. So we are looking great. We're looking great in the market. Before we dive into SoFi, let me show you what's going on the indices. Look, SPY's currently up, and it's about what, noon on the East Coast, so we're a little bit, less than, I guess, halfway through the day. SPY's up right now 0.75%. It looks like we're confirming the bounce off of this trend line, and now we're running towards the resistance point, the top of the wedge here, which is also right under the 50 SMA at about $680 a share. That's a big level of resistance. That's the breakout spot. If we take out 680, 682, SPY could be running. And QQQ, if I pull this up, currently up over 1%. We're pushing through the 180 and the 50 moving averages. And like I said, literally yesterday, we said if QQQ breaks 610, which now it is, the next gap to fill is 625, which currently we're at 615. So I think this run, this breakout into the weekend could have legs. I think Monday, ultimately, we could be going higher, but of course, it might be too early to say that considering we have 4 hours left of trading today. But yeah, it looks like we're starting to fill this gap to 625, which I like because ultimately, I think if we take 625 out, we're going all-time highs, whether that's at the end of the year, if we get the Santa Claus rally, or early next year. I think that's where we're heading, and the Dow is currently up a little over 0.5%. Dow's looking great. Dow's bouncing off this 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. Phenomenal. And the Russell doing the same, up around 1%, also bouncing off that 50 SMA. So every index, guys, looks great. Some a little better than others. QQQ, was falling a little bit behind. Now it's starting to come back a little bit. But they all look good on the charts. Again, some better than others. But you can't complain. You really can't complain in this market. We had a couple of red days in a row. NASDAQ went down 5 days in a row. And now it looks like we're building on our second green day, or this is our third green day in a row. I'm losing track here, guys. Bear with me. Actually, this would be our second green day if it closes green today, which as of now, it sure looks like it wants to, right? We do have 4 hours left of trading, but as of now, the way things are looking, yeah, we're up a good chunk, and it looks like today's going to end up being green. So yeah, second green day is brewing in a row. I'm loving it. SoFi is pushing up over 3%, or right around 3%, and the breakout is also brewing on SoFi. We're at $27 a share, just above 27, and we're slightly taking out this 50 SMA today. We're taking it out just a little bit, not fully breaking out, but we're starting to see the signs. We're taking out the highs from yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that, it looks like. So SoFi is actually at a multi-day high right now. We're breaking through Thursday's highs, the opening price from Wednesday and from Tuesday. So this is good news on the charts for SoFi. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame, again, we're not fully breaking out. We're under the 180 SMA still. We still have this descending triangle, but at the end of the day, guys, we're heading to the breakout spot on the stock here, which I don't know if it's going to test it or break out today, quite frankly. I doubt it breaks through today, but at some point next week, man, we have to keep our eyes peeled on $28, the 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart here, and this trend line in general. Because look, as of now, yes, we do have a descending triangle. That is bearish. But what would make it bullish would be if we ripped through 28, 29, and preferably back to $30 plus. That would be very bullish overall. We're not there yet, though. We're not there yet, but I'm keeping an eye on it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, I'm curious where your head's at. And by the way, hit that subscribe button. I think 50% of you on YouTube watch the content, but for some reason, you don't subscribe. So hit that subscribe button. Hit the follow button if you're watching on Facebook. I post these videos on Facebook as well. And I think you guys are slacking on that follow button too. So hit that follow button. I appreciate you all. Without you, this would not be possible. And let's dive into some other stocks now that are moving. DJT is up again today, 10%. We got some news regarding what happened? A merger? Yeah, Trump Media merger with nuclear fusion firm raises questions, according to an analyst. And honestly, guys, I didn't look too deep into this. I mean, I don't really care about Trump Media, this company. I got to keep it real. But it is news. The stock's moving. It looks like Donald Trump's net worth surges by over $500 million in one day. It says here, what's driving the increase? The article says. Oh, I wonder. Is it Trump Media going up? Yeah, that's what's driving the increase, guys. But yeah, that's pushing up another 12% today. Rivian is also moving, which, not to toot my own horn, but what did I say? Rivian going to the 20s. Here we are. We're in the 20s. What the heck did I say, guys? We literally called this out before the news of them using their own chips for their self-driving initiative, which we got that news about a week ago, if that, a week, 10 days ago, and that sent the stock nuts, going nuts. We have a lot of increases in price targets from a lot of these big firms, and again, we called it out. Not to toot my own horn, but we did. We're up another 10% right now, and part of me is like, dang it, Stas, you should have held on to your stock, Stas, you freaking idiot. You should have held on, because I did own Rivian. Full disclosure, I did own it about 2 years ago. I forget exactly when, but I've mentioned it before here. You guys know. I used to own the stock. I think I bought it at $10, $10, $11. Then it saw a quick run up after I was able to, or rather before I was able to really build the position out. And I just took the quick profit. You guys know how that goes. A stock, you start buying it. It runs really quickly before you build it out. You lock in the quick profit. That's what I did. And yeah, if I just held on, or if I was able to build it out, I would be up like 100% right now. But it is what it is, guys. I've always, the thing with Rivian, man, I've always known, or I've always liked the company, right? I've always had a good feeling about the company, that they're going to be successful, be a big competitor to Tesla one day. Maybe not as big as Tesla, obviously. I don't think they're going to be that big. But I always knew that they were going to make some noise. And here we are, Their cars always looked sleek to me. I always liked their design. I liked how Amazon was a big investor, is a big investor. The big Volkswagen deal, right? There's a lot going on with Rivian that I've always liked. And it's good to see now that they're starting to gain that momentum. And the thing with Rivian was always that, they were losing a bunch of money per vehicle. At one point, or at the time when I bought the stock, I'm pretty sure they were losing like $40K per vehicle or something insane, an astronomical number. I forget the exact number. But yeah, it looks like they're slowly turning around, man. And I mean, look, they're still losing money. That could continue for a while here. But I do like Rivian as a company. I think they're going to do well. And yeah, I mean, part of me is like, yeah, I should have held the stock. But either way, man, I think they're going to be successful, whether I hold the stock, whether or not. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. Up 10% on the day. I like the way that's playing out. What else? Oh, Oracle. Oh my gosh. I got to make a video on this in and of itself. Oracle, we got some big news yesterday regarding TikTok, regarding their Michigan facility, which I'll make a whole nother video on this, guys. But Oracle's up 7.5%. We got some big news. The TikTok deal, which obviously Oracle's a big investor in the U.S. operations. They're part of that deal alongside of some other, big players. It's closed, guys. It's happening, and Oracle's up 7.5%. Is it breaking out though? Not necessarily. I mean, we're still heavily in the downtrend, right? But we are up now a good $13, $15 a share off the lows, 10% off the lows. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. And ultimately, I do think Oracle is going to do well. I know there's a lot of fear around the debt, around this, around that, but I think the stock will rebound in the new year. It's only a matter of time. I don't think it's dead in the water like a lot of people think. I think we're going to go maybe not right back to 300. I mean, that would be a little nuts, right? But I think 225, 250, no doubt, is in the cards in Q1 of 2026. Honestly, I do. And that's why I'm still in my call options, guys, which I am down on them. I could take the loss and run for the hills, but I'm holding on because I do think we're going to rebound. I think selling now, I mean, it might make sense for some people, but for me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense getting out of those calls quite yet because, I mean, look, I can afford to hold on to them. They're not big positions for me. It's not like I went all in on these calls. It's a small speculative position. I mentioned here on the channel, it's like half a percentage point of my portfolio right now, if that. So yeah, Oracle calls, I'm in them because I can afford to, hold on to them with this amount of loss that I have right now, percentage-wise. Dollar-wise, it's not that big a deal at all. Percentage-wise, it's a little ugly, but I can afford to hold on. And we'll see, man. Maybe I lose all my money still. Or maybe I make money on the trade, heading into, the calls expire in March, end of March. So I have some time, right? We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I don't want to drag it on too much. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe. Join the Patreon for my portfolio updates. We're investing $1,000 a week. We're posting multiple updates a week, my chart ideas throughout the week, trade ideas. You have a private Discord access as well. All of that linked down below, pinned in the comments, or go to StockSurfS.com/Patreon. And with that being said, cheers. I'll see you all in the next video.